Hey, everybody. We are here with Chef Shabnam for another episode of vKind Connects, where we sit down with different vegan change makers and influencers and entrepreneurs so that we can bring their story to all of you. So, Shabnam, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about who you are and how long you've been vegan.
Sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So yes, I am Shabnam. I live in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Although I was just saying that today is a very gray and miserable day, but it's a great time to do this because it will be fun. So, yeah, I've been vegetarian for, I'm going to say almost 35 years, and I'm giving my age away, and vegan for over five. And I did my, I guess, education, my training, formal training in Toronto at a school called Liaison College, about, I'm going to say, long time ago, about 15, 17 years ago. Classic French cuisine. We did the cordon bleu curriculum, if you wish. So it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot and thought, I would never use it. But I ended up actually, um, in the last, I'm going to say, 7 years or so, doing a lot of cooking, recipe development, training, teaching, product development, and all sorts of other stuff that all the chefs do. So when we were in person in classes, I used to teach vegan cooking, baking, all kinds of different cuisines, if you wish, all veganized. So it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, nowadays, not so much. I did teach. I know it's sad, but it did offer us a lot of other and different opportunities. Like I did some online courses. I've taken courses around the world right now that they would have normally not put online for people. So
Yeah, that
I'm
wouldn't have
really
been
fortunate.
accessible in the past.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, so I generally concentrate obviously on vegan food. And I'm trying to get to a point where I'm training myself in raw cuisine, and raw
Oh.
doesn't mean smoothies and juices. It
Uh-huh.
means breaded mushrooms. It means desserts, snacks, pizza, crackers, all kinds of different things. So I'm trying to kind of go into that mode where it's not just it's boring, it's vegan,
Mhm.
it's flavorless or whatever. So
Right.
I'm trying to kind of show people that vegan is not boring. It's not flavorless. It's not
Mhm.
bland. It's great. It's colorful. And you can do so many different things with it. So
Mhm.
that's sort of where I would like to go. And
Yeah.
as an
Excellent.
upcoming, I call myself still upcoming. I would like to show the world, especially now it's veganuary. So I would like to show
Mhm.
the world what it means to eat without animal products, without having, a lot of impact on the environment, on our health, on our bodies. So that's the goal.
Amazing goal. Amazing
Yeah.
goal. You're on your way.
I'm hoping. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the reason that we're so excited to have this interview with you is because you have such a powerful story about something that happened to you as a vegan chef.
Yes.
So, as we understand, Star, our founder, saw your post in a Facebook group and you were
Yeah.
explaining about how you um, actually were given an ultimatum by a cooking competition in Toronto that said, hey, you either have to cook meat or you can't participate in this competition. And you
Yes.
chose to stay true to yourself. And I think that's, commendable and something that can inspire every other chef here or every other vegan here. So can you
Yeah.
tell us a bit about what happened to you?
Absolutely. So yes, this is a annual show and exhibition that is put up by a big association in Canada, and they have this annual competition where I thought I could meet other people during that competition and just sort of show people standing and watching, because people do stand there and watch, you cook, that you can cook something without animal products. It was a little unfortunate because they hadn't posted the rules really, because I guess they just assumed that you would be okay to eat, sorry, cook and or eat meat during that competition. So I thought, even before we go too far, I thought I'll contact them and just mention that, I am a vegan chef, although it was in my resume, it's on my website, it was in the application, it was everywhere. So then they came back and said, well, you have to cook with animal products. They didn't even call it meat, which was weird to me, but they said, yeah, you have to cook with animal products. That's our rule. I said, okay. So I said, would you consider, um, I can cook with alternative proteins if you wish. There are, vegan beef and chicken and everything. You can, sausages, burgers, everything. And they said, no, it has to be animal product. So I said, basically, no, I don't want to. That goes against my values. It goes against who I am. I've chosen this way of living for myself, and I'm not going to make an exception. I have guests coming to my parties home all the time, not during COVID, but nobody ever says, where's the meat? No, nobody, that, it's like, I just don't feel right. So then I started to think about, okay, what can I do? How can I raise awareness? And went on Facebook to ask the question. So this has happened to me. What do you guys think? And I was totally overwhelmed by all the responses I got. It was so nice to see the support from this community. And obviously, Star found me there. She responded to my question. So it was so humbling to see all the responses. I read every single one of them. I actually copied them to a file that I will keep. And at that point, reading all the responses ranged, right, from be quiet to be really loud. So I took the middle ground, and I said, no, I I will not participate. And I asked a couple of local vegan chefs who they've made a name for themselves in this, and in the restaurant or food industry, to see what they thought about it as well. And one response I got was, that's normal. That happens all the time. And it broke my heart. I'm like, this is 2022. This should not be the case. Why are we thinking cooking and eating meat is normal? Where, you know, in every single country around the world, we see number of vegans going up. Why is it not normal to say cook with whatever you want? The dish has to have, certain criteria. Great, I can meet that, but let me pick the protein that I want to put on the plate. So sadly, no. And that sort of it. One of my, I guess, or part of my plan was to sort of put my name out there, and at this amazing event where all, chefs, restaurant people, producers, food manufacturers, everybody's there. I can put my name out there and show them, look, you don't need meat to have a beautiful plate in front of you. But sadly, that did not happen. On the flip side, you guys found me, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity to talk to you and share my story. And I hope that it's inspiration for other people not to give up.
Mm-hmm.
If one
Yeah,
door
absolutely.
closes, another one opens. So take that door and
Mm-hmm.
don't give up. I won't give up
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. And if you choose to take the harder path, what a blessing it is to have found so much support in doing
Yes.
that
Yes.
through all of
Yeah.
the online communities. And despite how the pandemic has fragmented us, it has also allowed us to connect with others and in people in places that we would have never been able to access
Absolutely.
otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's great that you found support. It's really tragic about what's happened, and it really does raise a question of, what's happening for people with other limitations, right? Like, what about
Oh,
people who are halal and kosher? Like, are they
yes,
told that they can't participate in these competitions? Um,
exactly.
yeah, and I think that this is, yeah, it's a big social issue, and obviously a big issue um, for the animals, right? It's like you have to kill animals to compete. Wow,
Exactly.
what a shame when there's like
Oh,
this the vegan movement's growing. So how is this disconnect still there in the culinary world?
yes. Yes. And the message they gave me was, "Oh, we celebrate the plant-based movement." And I'm like, "No, I show me that you are. Don't tell me, right?" And that's, what did not happen. They just said they do, but they still kicked me out of it. So here we are. We'll find other ways to, show people. And my approach isn't to preach. My approach is to put food in front of people and go, how does this taste? And nobody's come back and say, "Oh, I miss my meat." I'm like, no, they don't, because it's flavorful, it's tasty, it's beautiful on the plate. So why not? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, totally. And that's the beauty of this approach is you're not telling everybody in the competition that they shouldn't use meat
exactly.
and shame on them. You're just saying, hey, let
Yeah,
me
yeah,
participate and show you the way that I do it.
exactly,
Um, so
exactly.
hopefully, you're the sort that's planting a seed, right? So if they don't see it this time, maybe that's encouragement for the future for other chefs who want to they want to be vegan or they want to try to be
Exactly.
more plant based and to feel
Exactly.
like they don't have to. The more people who resist that, the
Mhm.
more that will create change in these competitions in the future. So
I hope so. I hope
yeah,
so, yeah. Because, like I said, it's 2022. We need to you know, have an open mind to, my only source of protein is meat. That mindset needs to be open to other things out there. Y- you can't, it's sort of living in a bubble almost, where you can say, okay, this is all I know and this is all I'm going to do. And I will say, I think every single vegan chef will say that when you start to cook vegan, you actually open up your repertoire of recipes, ingredients. There are so many different things out there that I would have, not even as a vegetarian, try to, cook with, but as a vegan, you try different things and you'd
more
see.
creative.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly.
It'll be very interesting to see how that develops with your explorations with raw vegan culinary arts because
Yeah.
I've been mostly raw for some years and I noticed a
Nice.
big shift when I
Oh,
went
huge.
raw. Going from vegan to raw was like, whoa, there's all these plants and fruits that I never knew existed, even previously
Yeah.
being vegan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's how
amazing.
I see it. Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's about being open.
Hmm.
Look at what else is out there and what you can try and eat and enjoy. Why not? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
might be pleasantly surprised.
exactly.
So I'm curious when you were speaking with these other chefs and they were saying, these other vegan chefs saying, like, oh, that sort of thing is common. What's your perspective? Like, what do other chefs in the vegan industry, um, vegan culinary arts realm, I guess, where do they see things going in terms of plant based culinary options and opportunities and things like that?
Well, I will say that in Toronto, I mean, Toronto is a big city. Their population is high, opportunities are a lot. So in Toronto alone, I've noticed a huge, I guess, um, rise of vegan friendly restaurants, brand new, all vegan menus and such. And even with, I'm going to call them regular restaurants, non vegan, that they start to offer a vegan menu, not just one salad, no dressing, but literally anything that you can think of, soups, salads, burgers, mains, desserts, everything is vegan. So to me, that sends a message that people are asking for it. People want that change. They want to know that, even if they're not vegan themselves, that they go out to a restaurant, they have the opportunity to try something different that they may not be cooking at home. So to me, I think this is not a fad, veganism. Um, it is a range. You can be at, a very soft end of this range or hardcore, vegan. And uh, I'm not going to get into the details of what they do, but there's people are asking for it. They want that, um, you know, offering of other things that they don't eat. So I absolutely think this is here to stay. It has not only, a huge impact on animals, it's got impact on the environment, and, side benefit, our health. So I think it will grow. I see that with my friends when we talk. They're all like, oh, let's go to a vegan restaurant and try something different. It's like, perfect, let's go. It's easy. And when I was looking for vegan cookbooks and just recipes, there were none. There were no cookbooks. I had to take a vegetarian cookbook and take out all the dairy and
Veganize
egg.
it.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
now I look at my own cookbook, um, I guess, selection that I have at home. I have tons. And every time I open, the website of our local bookstore or Amazon even, see new cookbooks coming out. So
Mhm.
if they wouldn't, if there was no demand, they wouldn't be doing that stuff. So I think, people who are thinking, ah, no, I want my meat, or meat is the way to go, I think they might be missing out of good food and being at the
Mhm.
forefront of this movement and trying
Yep.
to pick up steam and be on that train. Because once the train leaves, it's too late, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so I'm curious, what your vegan story is and
Mhm.
like what led you from vegetarian to vegan?
Mhm.
What was your aha moment that happened?
Yes. Yes. I think, I've asked my mom even, how was I as a little baby? And I think back then they weren't testing kids for, lactose. Are they lactose intolerant or not? So I think I
Hmm.
had a predisposition not eating animal products. So when I was in high school, even before that, I was a very picky meat eater. I never liked it. It was just
Hmm.
not, it didn't do it for me. So when when I was 18, 19, I saw a documentary. I used to live in Germany at the time, and I saw a documentary about how they transported animals from one European country to another, and saw how they were suffering even a 2 hour ride from, say, Holland to Germany. And
Hmm.
that did it for me. I'm like, okay, no more
Wow.
meat, nothing
Wow.
else. um, it took me a little while, I will admit, to do some proper research and see what actually happens even if they don't kill the animals, like a
Mm,
dairy farm or so.
right.
And like every vegan, I thought cheese was hard to give up. And
Oh
guess
yeah.
what? It's not. It was the easiest to give up.
Oh.
I'll give a little bit away. Bailey's was harder to give up.
Oh, okay. But now there's
But
vegan Baileys, right?
yes,
So.
exactly, exactly. So again, didn't give it up. So
Yeah.
it wasn't as hard. And honestly, if anybody's listening and thinking, "Oh my God, I can't give, my milk up or eggs or anything," it's so easy to give it up. especially when you're, depending on your reasons. Everybody has their own personal reason to be vegan or not, or vegetarian, or whatever they think they want to do.
Mhm.
um, I think if you have a good reason in your mind why you are doing something, like your why is strong,
Yeah.
I think it's a win. And even it is not, talk to your friends, see what's going on out there. Education. There are a lot of movies out there right now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Seaspiracy. There's a long list of them. So there is, times have changed. Now there is so much information on the web that, if this was 30 years ago with this sort of information, I would have gone vegan right away. And I'll say, from vegetarian to vegan, my energy levels went up. My head was clear. This like brain fog just lifted. So many health impacts that I didn't do that for it, but I'm enjoying that benefit.
Mhm.
So just like you said, when I do like a raw day or a juice day, I notice the next day my energy level shoots through the roof. It's
Mhm.
amazing. And
Yeah.
why wouldn't you do that for yourself, right?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the fact that um, it's not, for me, it's not harming animals. I'm doing a little bit for the environment, and I'm just reaping the health benefits. So it becomes easy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like most things, the longer you do them, the easier they become. And I
Yes.
think holding on to that vision and saying like tomorrow is easier than today. The day after
Ex-
that is easier than this that
Exactly.
tomorrow is, right? So, and
Yeah.
just knowing that and being confident in that is so helpful. And to your point about it being like, for people watching who are new and thinking they can't give up cheese,
Hmm.
you'd said it actually wasn't hard for you. For me, it was hard, but once I was done, I was really done. Like I don't like,
Yeah.
I would after I really quit cheese or a couple times where I tried it again, I was like, this is disgusting. This is so gross. And
Yeah.
now, even if I have fake cheese, like now, even when I have
Yes.
vegan cheeses, because back when I quit cheese, there was not much of that. So once now
Hmm.
when I have vegan cheese, I'm like, this is too much like cheese. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So it's
But
pretty
that's how
impressive how your
good.
body can change and your taste buds change.
Oh, it's huge. Your taste buds become more refined, I would say. You taste things that you never did before. And to your point, that is exactly why there is no reason to use animal products, because that cheese looks. I had a brie for Christmas, and held it in my hand, and I'm like, man, this looks like brie, and it tastes like brie. It was weird. It was really freaky.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does freak you out, right?
yeah, yeah,
What's going on here?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think is great and hugely encouraging for anybody who's new, right?
Yes,
You can
yes.
still, you know, maybe you don't want to eat fake brie forever and you'd like to be more whole food based. Well, use fake
Exactly.
brie as your transition, right? Like,
Yes,
or
exactly.
you don't ever have to quit eating fake brie because in the process you'll never be harming an animal. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm really impressed with you and that you
Thank
stuck to your
you.
values and chose to share about this. I
Thank
think it's
you.
a really important issue and something that I think can make a lot of people think. Even people who aren't vegan might question, like, hey, is that okay? Is that okay
Hmm.
to tell somebody they
Hmm.
can't participate for
Hmm.
ethical reasons for not wanting to kill an animal just to make a meal?
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
yeah.
And there is a lot of talk going on about diversity and inclusion. So this goes to the heart of that, in my opinion, because if you want to include everybody, and Canada theoretically prides itself about its diversity, that there are so many people from all over the world, and this to me is like, no, no, you can't, because you don't use this product, is goes against that belief that this is Canada and this is 2022. Why are you afraid? that the food will be too good and you'd have to,
Yeah.
I ask myself, I go, why
Right.
would you not want me to do that? Are you
Yeah.
really afraid that I would show up with a plate that actually looks good and tastes good?
Mhm. Did they give
But
you a reason?
you know what? No, they
Mm.
just said these are our rules.
Mm.
And we speculated through,
Sure.
the last few weeks, is it a sponsor?
Yeah.
Is
Right.
it, just a show going, no, 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 we have to have meat on the plate or whoever? I don't know. They just said these are our rules and we will stick to them. And that's their prerogative. If they want to, do that, that's great. But I think, like you said, this is an issue that should be thought about, talked about, and hopefully one day we'll get to a point where you are free to choose whatever you want to do in the real sense of that word. Like you,
Right.
yes,
Right.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Wow, amazing. Well, Shabnam, what do you feel are your, you kind of had this stumbling block, but as you said, other doors open because of that. So, what do
Mhm.
you think is next? What's the immediate next step for you in the world of vegan culinary arts?
Um, so I am actually just finishing two raw certifications that I'm taking. So I'm hoping to incorporate that when I develop recipes and work with companies and stuff. I'm also wanting to be like a full, I want to go full circle. So I am starting a plant-based nutrition certificate from a local university. And I'm hoping that, in the next couple of years that I can basically go back to university and become a registered dietitian is what we call them in Canada.
Yeah.
Like a full that takes me full circle. It's not just the recipes and the food but also the nutrition. And so that, when I'm talking to people, I can help them on both ends, not just, here's a recipe, it's tasty, but here's a recipe and here's, the nutritional value that comes with it, and kind of use that knowledge to teach people, educate people as I go along my path.
Yeah, that's great because food is so much more than what we taste, right? It's
Exactly.
what goes behind it ethically and
Yes.
what it does for our body internally.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
amazing. How can people connect with you, Shabnam?
So I am on Instagram. I have a website. My Instagram handle is shabnam777, and my website is shabnam.ca. And through there, if you go to my website, you can see all the Facebook and the Pinterest and all these social media accounts. You can connect with me. I am more than happy to answer any questions anybody has along the way. If they have, come across a similar scenario that they would like to just, talk about, I'm more than happy to help anybody that needs anything, wants to know anything. So absolutely connect with me. I would love that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
A last question, just for fun. What is your favorite recent recipe or a particular food item that you're obsessed with at the moment?
We are obsessed with all kinds of oyster mushrooms. King oyster, blue, pearl, brown, black oyster mushrooms, turning those into scallops, pulled pork. I make pizzas that they go on it. They are absolutely amazing. It's a good mushroom trip.
Yeah. You're
It's
on a
really
mushroom trip right now, an oyster mushroom trip.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, and
yeah.
in Mexico here, they use oyster mushrooms a lot. Even in
Oh,
non-vegan places, they'll use oyster mushrooms in
yes.
tacos. But it's
Yeah.
they
Oh,
flavor it like pastor. They make it like
yes.
almost like taco meat. It's just so
Yeah,
versatile.
yeah. Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Yeah.
I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Shabnam, for being here.
Thank
And for those of
you.
you guys watching, if you want to hear from more amazing people who are pushing the envelope in the vegan world, people who are entrepreneurs, people with ideas that are moving this movement forward. Subscribe to our channel, like this video. It really helps us. So, yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank you for this opportunity. I really
Shabnam.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Take
Yeah.
care. Bye bye.
Bye.